Hello, this is Caleb Pelagi from Cleveland State University, presenting on the history of the Programmable Logic Controllers, or PLC. No more than 50 years ago, if you wanted to see the control room of any factory, steel mill, or mine, you would have been led into a large room filled with hundreds, possibly even thousands, of industrial relays, each neatly placed onto large racks like those seen on the right. By the end of the 20th century, this room would have been left either empty or repurposed thanks to one of the most revolutionary devices in the world of automation. This radical transformation would not have been possible without the invention of the programmable logic controller. The development of the PLC was driven by General Motors' challenge to design a new alternative to the large relay systems described above. To be deemed a viable alternative, the system had to not only be capable of everything the existing relay systems did, but also meet the following 6 criteria. First, the unit would have to be modular and expandable, using only solid-state components. This would allow the system to have a longer lifespan than the industrial relays, which would wear out over time. The unit would have to have 16 inputs and outputs, with the inputs expandable to 256, and the outputs expandable to 128. The unit would have to be easily programmed and reprogrammed, which allows the unit to be upgraded as the production line was changed or upgraded. The stored programs could not be lost in power outages, and the unit would have to have at least 1K of memory, and that had to be expandable up to 4K. Two companies answered the call and successfully created a solution: Bedford Associates and Allen Bradley. When Bedford Associates engineer Richard Morley tested his modular digital controller on GM's production floor, it not only met all of the above requirements, it also reduced downtime by 60%. Using his new technology, Morley created the company Modicon, which released the 084 programmable controller in 1969. The 084 was answered by Allen Bradley's Bulletin 1774 PLC, which was developed by Otto Struger in Cleveland, Ohio, and released in 1970. Now, 50 years later, the PLC is an omnipresent device throughout almost the entire industrial world. Although their capabilities far exceed those of 50 years ago, the basic parts remain the same. Every PLC contains 5 basic building blocks. First, there's a power supply, which converts the supply power into the necessary voltages to power all of the components on the board. Second, there's a CPU, which executes ladder logic. There's memory, which preserves settings and ladder programs through a power cycle. There's an I/O interface, and that's used to gather information about the system that the PLC is controlling. And there's a communication interface that allows the PLC to connect to other devices, such as remote I/O or other PLCs. This may be done using RS-232, DeviceNet, ControlNet, Ethernet IP, or fiber optic connections. With these 5 building blocks, the PLC has both the power and flexibility to be suitable for almost any and all industrial automation applications.